It is finally time to predict the Silverstone Grand Prix. So let's get into it. So this is a sprint weekend, so there's quite a lot of more predictions to do. So we have the sprint quali top 5, sprint top 5, quali top 5, race top 5. Then we have fire and dire, and then I have 5 predictions, like random predictions in varying amount of points. So I have 2 that are 1 point, 2 that are 2 points, and 1 that are worth 3 points. So yeah, let's get into the top 5s, I'm thinking. So let's start with the sprint quali top 5. Here I have put in P5, Charles Leclerc, then Kimi Antonelli, George Russell, Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton. I do think that Lewis Hamilton is going to be quite fast here, hopefully. It is very much his track. He has won here, I believe, 9 times. It would be insane to see him win it a 10th time. We'll see if that is what I have predicted, but I think for the sprint quali he can get pole, at least fight for it. And I also think that Max Verstappen is going to be quite fast here. Maybe we see some fighting between those two again, like in 2021. I feel like that would be interesting to see, would be exciting. And then Kimi Antonelli, nothing really special there. I think he will perform great here, but maybe not in the sprint quali. Let's go to the sprint top 5. I have in P5 Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Kimi Antonelli, and then Lewis Hamilton. So I think that Lewis Hamilton will win the sprint. I think he's going to be fast. He has proven that he is very competitive in the top steps as of recently, like with that win in Barcelona. The reason why he didn't get a podium or something like that in Austria was mostly because of the car. We know that the Ferraris are great at corners and not straights, so it could be that the Ferraris are not as good here, same with like Monza or something like that. And one driver that got up a few places is Kimi Antonelli here. I think he's going to be very fast here. I don't really remember how it went for him last time, but I do believe that he's going to be fast. He's going to realize that he needs to win stuff here, and this sprint race will show that he's still in the fight. If anyone doubted him, yeah, like, I mean, he is leading the championship by like 30-40 points or something like that. He's still in the fight, obviously, and this weekend is going to show that he's still fighting. Okay, so then for the quali top 5, in P5 I have Isaac Hadjar, then we have Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Antonelli, and then George Russell. So George Russell takes pole here. I don't think that is too crazy to predict. He has gotten pole here before. Yeah, nothing too special here from what I have said before. So let's go to the race top 5. In P5 I have Lando Norris, then Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, and then Kimi Antonelli. So I think that Kimi Antonelli is going to win this race, even though George got pole. I think that it could be hard for Kimi Antonelli to win here if George Russell gets pole, but as we kind of know, this isn't George's favorite track to drive. He hasn't gotten too great of results here before, so I think it's a great opportunity for Kimi to win here points and extend his lead. Okay, with that said, let's go to fire and dire. For fire driver I have put Charles Leclerc, so I think it's time for redemption for Charles. He hasn't had the best of seasons so far. He has just had a lot of unluckiness in his years in F1, from crashes to unreliability with the car to the team cheating and stuff like that, like stuff he can't really control all the time. I feel like it's time for him to lock in here and get some great results. Okay, and then I have put dire driver. A gimme point here, Lance Stroll. I don't think he's going to like finish the race. I feel like I could put this and get a point every time. I wanted to get at least 1 point as I did last time. I just know that I get at least 1 point. And then we have fire team. I'm going with Red Bull. So with the upgrades to Austria, it showed a lot of great performance, like we saw Max Verstappen getting a P2 and Isaac getting a P6. I think that's a great result for Red Bull compared to what they got in Australia or China or Japan or something like that. So they are starting to look better. They're kind of a team where at least this and last year, like in the middle of the season, they get a lot better. I think the Red Bull will perform great here. Okay, and then we have dire team. I have put Alpine. Last 1 or 2 races, they haven't performed too great. Last race, they didn't get any points, I believe, and they never looked too competitive compared to the grid. Okay, and then we have some random predictions. So let's start with the 1-pointers, then the 2-pointers, and the grand finale with the 3-pointer. The first 1-pointer is rain at some point of the weekend, saying that it's not going to be any rain like whatsoever. So I think it's a kind of a bold prediction that is going to change, but I put that before I looked at the weather report, so I guess I have to blame myself for that. Okay, and then I have put pole lap in the 127s. So this year the car is slower. Last year the pole lap was a 124.892. Add a few seconds on there, 127. I feel like that is pretty reasonable. Okay, let's go to the 2-pointers. The first one I have is teammate crash. I would say crash slash contact. So at least there is going to be two teammates that collide. If it does a touch or a full-on crash like Nico and Lewis but in the Silverstone, then I get a point there. And it could be wheel-to-wheel action, maybe a small touch, but at least there's contact between teammates. Okay, so for the last 2-pointer prediction, I have put Lance DNFs in sprint and main race. So if this is true, then I obviously get the other point with Dire Driver, but something tells me that he's not going to finish any races. He might finish the qualifying laps, but not the races. Okay, and then for the 3-pointer, the last prediction, I have said Liam Lawson overtakes Pierre Gasly between lap 15 and 27 and leads over Pierre for the rest of the race. These like 1-pointer, 2-pointer and 3-pointer are varying grades of specificity. So 1 point is like very broad. Like it could be there's a crash. A 2-pointer would be this person crash. And a 3-pointer would be like this person crashes at this lap or in these amount of laps or at this part of the track or something like that. And obviously the more specific, the more points you get. So, but anyway, this was basically just freestyling. I thought that Liam Lawson maybe is fast. They've shown great pace at the last few races. They beaten Alpine quite comfortably, at least in Austria. That's my thought process there. Okay, that was all the predictions. I have made 29 predictions. So if I get 14 and a half, if I don't get the SPP. And at the moment we have 4 out of 8 SPPs at the moment. But yeah, this was basically this video. If you enjoyed it, then comment, like, subscribe, share and all that. And I will see you in the next video.